What are we doing, Kat?
We're gonna sail to Hawaii. We're just about to pull our anchor, and then we're not gonna put it down for like 3 weeks. That's crazy.
Listo?
I think listo.
Listo! Nice little breeze. We're gonna sail off anchor, have the engine key ready because there are a few objects around us, but we're ready to roll.
A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what a ship is built for. After months of careful preparation and planning, we're finally setting sail on our first true offshore passage, nearly 3,000 nautical miles from Mexico to Hawaii. As the sails filled and the familiar rush of water along the hull took over, we felt quiet, each of us processing the weight of the moment. Excitement rose to the surface first, but beneath it lingered a quiet anxiety about the challenges ahead, the unknowns, the weather, the endurance this journey would demand. Still, with land slowly fading astern and the horizon stretching endlessly ahead, there was no doubt we were exactly where we were meant to be.
Well, it's very classic Gulf of California kind of seas out here. We got an incoming tide, so that's probably not helping. And the seas are, big relative to the wind and confused in short period. But it looks like a really nice first night for us. Nothing crazy up ahead. Feeling good?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. That's about all. I do feel good.
Cool. Yeah. We're approaching our first sunset. One of probably...
No, we're not. We're going away.
Our first sunset's about to happen. We're approaching our first sunset of the trip. It's been really nice. There's this cloud bank that has blocked the sun for the last while, so we've got some relief. It's been very hot. Really, really beautiful. Right?
Yeah. I put on a whole seasick patch right before we left, and I think it was the right call. I haven't felt seasick. Yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
And then I'll keep it on for at least 3 days, and hopefully by then we'll be in our nice steady wind, and I can feel the motion of the boat when we're beam reaching and see if I can handle it. And if I can, great. And if I want to put on another patch, I will.
My action plan is to not look at my phone, because I was looking at my phone a little bit too much, downloading bunch of podcasts while we had Starlink on, and I started to feel a little nauseous when it was really rough. So I'll be a little more careful for that, but I feel fine now. Well, it's about 1:30 in the morning, and the wind died like an hour ago, but now it's just really frustrating. Just gonna tough it out. The forecast looks really good for starting around 6 a.m. Hopefully something will come before that, because this is getting a little bit maddening. Well, that was a pretty unproductive night. We didn't make hardly any miles, basically after sunset. But as advertised, it is picking up a little tiny bit here at sunrise, and we should have no problem getting out of the Gulf of California through today.
While hours of bobbing around wasn't how we had imagined the first night of the trip, we knew it would soon become a distant memory. As we watched the sun rise over the Gulf of California for the last time, a light breeze finally began to fill in. By sunset, that breeze had built, forcing us to reduce sail. Galloping across the waves, we watched the land slowly fade from view, knowing this would be the last time we'd see terra firma for some 20 days.
Looks good. Turned into a pretty rough night. The winds are probably blowing around
20 knots, maybe gusting 25 at times. Pretty much close hauled initially, and then we just had to bear off because it was too much to be going close hauled with these seas. It's blowing pretty steady, 20, probably gusting 25. And I think it's sort of this area that could be a bit stronger off of the west tip of the Baja Peninsula. And so we're bombing along at a good pace, but the seas have grown pretty good. They're probably about 6 to 8 feet now and pretty rough. Lots of good spray on the boat. I've stayed dry, tucked in here, and Kat's been hunkering down below. Last night we just had stowed our eggs very well, and some of them fell over, which was pretty lame to deal with at 2 in the morning. But yeah, pretty tired. Haven't been much of any sleep last night, so hopefully this is gonna tamp down a bit, or at least the angle will get better. Hopefully, as we get away from the Cape, should do. This is day 3.
Welcome to Sailing Sea Dream of Clyde, night 3. We have a beautiful sunset happening. The sea state appears to be calming down. I just threw up a little bit ago, but I feel a lot better now. Now we're trying to figure out if there's anything on this boat that sounds good to eat. It doesn't really feel that way. We'll settle into a nice evening, and I think tonight we probably will both end up being out on the bridge deck, so I'll try to do some more watches, and it's not that enjoyable down below, so that's what I know. We've gone 214 miles.
It's not been an easy start to this trip, with the exception of that really fast, fun sail out of the anchorage, and then followed by 24 hours of really slow sailing. And now it's just a little more wind than we desire. Being on the beam, reach, and this kind of stuff is definitely a bit tiring. The boat rolls a lot, it's noisy, sometimes there's spray, but we'll gradually get out of it over the next 2 days here as we start getting further south, and the winds will be more out of the north instead of the northwest, and then eventually start coming out of the east. So that's the plan.
I wonder if we'll see the green flash.
It's day 4, and last night was pretty good. I got some sleep, Kat got some sleep, but our heading was really southerly still, and we have ended up pretty close to this little group of islands that's off of Mexico, so like 30 miles from one of them right now. So we've had to harden up to the wind quite a bit just to make ourselves stay well away from them, and we need to do this anyways. It's just really uncomfortable with the sea state the way it is, and the wind right now. We're probably getting 18, gusting 20 something, I'm guessing. We're both feeling really tired, having a hard time eating. Anything to add?
I don't feel good.
Yeah.
Ready for more days to go by for it not to feel like this.
Yeah.
After another breezy morning, the winds finally began to ease early in the afternoon, and the seas slowly followed suit. By mid-afternoon, Trevor shook out the reef of the mainsail, and, for the first time in 2 days, Sea Dream of Clyde felt more like a sailboat instead of an amusement park ride. With the motion settling and spirits lifting, we managed to cook our first proper meal in 48 hours. A small but meaningful victory that made the miles ahead feel a little more manageable.
Well, we're doing a bit better now. We both just ate some gnocchi with pesto and butter. And that was the first proper meal in like
2 days.
2 days. We've just been nibbling on other like snacks other than that. And the seas have gotten so much better. Yeah, Kat's up here now.
Yep. Yeah, I was feeling like crud yesterday and this morning. I actually did end up vomiting, which was not fun. So my mission today has been to just like keep something in my stomach. So for the majority of the day, it was 4 almonds and some water until that meal. So I'm doing a lot better.
Yeah. Feels good to have some food in the belly. I've been doing good at keeping up on my water. Kat's needs to work a little harder on that.
Yeah.
So important to keep hydrated out here, even if you are seasick. But yeah, the forecast looks really good for the night. I think it showed maybe a little increase in the morning before it slowly subsides to like 10 knots by tomorrow night. So tomorrow night we might be like, oh, we want more wind, but we'll enjoy it. We'll enjoy the what's bound to be a peaceful night. If a little slappy on the sails, we'll see. Well, it's the morning of day 5, and last night ended up being pretty breezy. Continued kind of roly-polies with some spray. I got some sleep. I think Kat got some sleep too. She's down below right now. We're like trying to just enjoy the fast speed, but this motion on the boat makes everything very difficult to do.
While the rough conditions made everyday life aboard a constant challenge, what often felt like pure drudgery was broken up by moments of joy and incredible beauty. As evening approached on day 5, a pod of dolphins suddenly appeared alongside the boat, their effortless grace cutting through the fatigue, a gentle reminder that even out here, in the vastness of the ocean, we were never truly alone.
It is morning number 6, and we've been zooming along all night. There was some lulls, and it was a really comfortable night in comparison to the last 3. So we both got a pretty good amount of sleep. We took turns sleeping downstairs and having little cat naps up here. There's some kind of intermittent clouds. There's very low, puffy clouds that are down out here. It seems it's this marine layer, but they let the sun out, so we're getting good solar still on the panels and dries up the boat. But the whole boat is just covered in salt, so it'd be nice when we do get a rain shower in a week or 2 to rinse off the salt, because as soon as the sun goes down it just looks wet everywhere. Now with the conditions being easier, we're gonna work on eating some fruit and veg, because there's stuff that needs to be eaten really quick here. It's already been a week since we bought the stuff, so we'll deal with that today as the day goes on.
It is Operation Fruit Salad making. We have all this beautiful fruit, but it's been so rough that we've not been able to want to cut it up. But I think I'm going to be good to do it out here, outside. No chance of stuff ending up on the cabin floor. I can just toss the scraps overboard.
We savored our last fruit salad, a final taste of sun-ripened Mexican fruit, knowing it would be some time before we enjoyed anything so fresh again. With the seas calming and our bodies slowly adapting to the constant motion, a rhythm began to emerge. Still, life aboard a boat that can turn wild without warning remained demanding, a quiet balancing act between finding our sea legs and surrendering to the ocean's pace.
Well, it's been a pretty nice day. The last hour or so, it's ramped up a little bit, which is okay because it's supposed to ramp right down. Starting at around 4 o'clock, it's going to start subsiding, and it looks like by midnight it should be around 10 knots, maybe gusting to like 14, so it'll be quite nice. We're looking forward to that. And then the next 3 days, nothing more than 12 knots as the average wind through the day, so, and calmer nights. So I'm feeling really good. I was managed to cook a bit of food. However, Kat's not feeling too good.
Hello. No, I'm not. I think after, 5 days of uncomfortable sea states and motions on the boat, I was feeling a little exhausted, and then I got my period this morning. And whenever I'm really active and moving my body a bunch, my period tends to be really easy, but if I'm sedentary at all, I have a lot more pain. And so
being exhausted, having some like menstrual pain, being dehydrated, feeling a little defeated, like, oh my gosh, we're on day 6 and there's still like, what, 18 more to go? Like, just feels really daunting. So I've been struggling. Trevor's been doing a really great job of just like tending to me and staying positive and looking at our stats, which is really exciting. We've already gone over 700 miles, and the next few days look more mellow and hopefully enjoyable. And then after that, hopefully we'll be going dead downwind. So yeah, there is a lot of hope in that. I'm fine. I haven't thrown up, but it's still challenging. Yeah, it's hard. We had a conversation, and I asked Trevor if this was harder or if going up to the Everest Base Camp was harder. And I think we both agreed that this is harder. They're just so different, but being on any expedition, I think, when you're having your low points, it's good to remind yourself that this is just a moment of a really long trip, and everything will pass. Sea states will change, we'll feel better, and I know at the end of it, it'll be very rewarding and worth it. So just trying to stick it out, and yeah.
It's about the choice you have.
That is and that's the point too. Yeah, I feel like in my moments of like desperation, of like being near tears, just like frustrated and exhausted, I could have let my mind wander into that more defeated feeling, but it's really important not to go to those places. So it's like, all right, just bring your mental capacity back to center. You're here now, breathe. Like, it's really beautiful. The water color here is just like, it's a color blue that I've never seen before. It's amazing. And the dolphins at night, they're all lit up with bioluminescence. We saw a sea turtle yesterday, so good stuff.
Got a booby attempting to land on the boat here on the spreader. It's pretty ruckus, I think, for that.
We got a booby!
Yeah, we'd heard about birds landing on the boats, and we got our first booby on board. It's very exciting.
We named them Dr. Charles.
Dr. Charles. Dr. Charles was trying the spreader first. It clipped its wing on the rigging a few times, and then attempted the bow several times, and finally got it. It's pretty uncomfortable. It's getting sprayed, and it's bouncing, but it's just sitting there preening, and we imagine it might spend the night there, so we'll see if it's there in the morning. It's like almost falling off with the waves.
If it just got down onto the deck, it'd be great.
Yeah.
I wonder if it will try that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, that's our little...
evening entertainment.
Yeah. Last night was pretty chill. The winds came down quite a bit to the point where we were sailing probably only at like 2.5, 3 knots for quite a bit of the night, and with little bursts here and there. And so yeah, it was our first kind of slower period, but that's okay. But we both got good sleeps in, taking turns napping and that, and the bird got a good sleep too, which is nice. And we're blasting along again, and it looks like we'll still keep our 24-hour average where we're wanting it at about 5 knots or better. And yeah, not too much to report. Well, the wind is puffing up, and we keep turning into the wind because we're overpowered, so we're gonna reef the main. Woo! Close hauled heel right now. So we're gonna take care of that and get a comfier ride here because we're just going real fast, but heeling more than we should.
Hopefully when I go forward, I don't disturb our bob up there, or booby on the bow.
Hey, buddy. The afternoon has zoomed by and we're into the evening, having a little pre-dinner dessert. Some of the Turkish delight that we got in Istanbul that we still have on board. It's pretty sweet.
It's a little sloshy out here.
Yeah, the wind has come up a little more than was forecast. I think we've been a bit closer to 20 knots throughout the afternoon than the, I think, 15 that was forecasted. But it's okay, we've been blasting along, got a reef in. The booby's still happy up there. Sun setting at like probably 7:40 now. So we're still adhering to Mexican time because it kind of just makes sense for us. But in Mexico right now, the sun would already be set. So we're, 1,000 miles out to sea basically. So looking forward to the seas laying down overnight as they're forecast to do. And having hopefully another restful night. Last night it was around 11 that it calmed down, so hopefully it does about the same, and hopefully it's gradual as it did yesterday. Another day on the ocean.
Morning, it's beginning of day 9, and we've been making a pretty nice pace all through the night. It was a pretty bumpy ride last night. Since I wasn't up top, I didn't quite see the sea state, but lots of little waves on top of the swell. Yeah, I have a nice average pace of about 5.3 knots, so we're doing pretty good. Oh, and now we have 2 boobies on the bow, which is pretty fun, and a third one has been checking out our davits, so we'll see if we have a nice little clan, but pretty funny.
So I noticed the leech of the mainsail has been flapping a lot, and I realized it's because I never had the right size battens in there. They're these like little partial battens, like not even a quarter battens, but they're a bit short. So we just had some spare batten. We were able to tape it together, sliding that in there, and also doing a few little patches. So hopefully that's going to quit that, because when we're offshore here, there's a lot of wear that's happening because we've sailed for 9 days straight, which probably equals like all the sailing we did this whole season or more, really. So that's what we're up to right now.
Hey, it's day 9. It's been a really nice day of sailing today. It started a little slow, but then it's been really steady. The seas have stayed down. It's just been kind of what we've been dreaming of this whole time. The seas are starting to be slightly behind us, and we'll be able to start sheeting the sails out tomorrow. So now that I noticed the boobies leave a huge mess on the deck, I have taken to chasing them off, and there's one that's still pretty persistent. I think I'll scare it off at like sunset, and then it can go back to roosting in the water like it's used to. Oh, it's day 10. I'm down here in the galley making French toast. Feeling pretty good. Got some good rest, and fun to mix up the food a little bit. Cat's up on watch right now. No words? Yeah, Kat's feeling okay, I think. She just doesn't seem to want to talk right now, but took a Dramamine, but no patch still. Oh, and I scared the boobies off, but looks like there's one that's getting interested here, so I might go have to do booby patrol again. Maybe we'll do a little tour down here, show you what we're up to in terms of storing things and sleeping arrangements. It's pretty rolly right now. The afternoon wind has picked up, maybe a little more than was forecast, but that's okay. We're making really great time. Yeah, here's our sleeping bunk downstairs. We just take turns using this one. Got some water on the floor, things over here. And the V-berth has turned into just a storage zone, so we just have a bunch of stuff we're not using up here. We got a ditch bag and some water and stuff up here as well. I'm just chilling. The head's pretty normal. Yeah, looks good. And then heading back, we have our cooler sitting here. Usually the cooler is back here, but we don't want it falling down. And here's our eggs. We were a little silly and didn't really have a spot planned out for them and had them on this bunk up here, and that's where they came flying off of. And somehow these ones didn't break at all, but the carton made a huge mess. And then, yeah, the aft cabin, pretty cozy back here. It's nice, actually. Oh, yeah, here's our cooler, freezer. Yeah. Pretty good, pretty good. Meanwhile, outside, I'll show you what the seas look like right now. Pretty roly-poly. Lots of white caps, but maybe it's just coming down a little bit right now. Hey, Kat, is it settling down a little bit?
Yeah, it seems like it's coming down. So
yeah. We bared off a little bit just to make it a little more comfortable ride after we got a big splash that splashed onto our bed a little bit, our little bed up here. It's all good though. Just cruising along, almost halfway.
Day 10. Eating beans.
Leftovers from a tasty burrito dinner, and sunset starting to come up. That's pretty.
Halfway Doritos.
We got these Doritos and some Cokes and Pops as our little random treats that we don't typically eat at the best of times, but we figured it'd be kind of a fun thing to have. But yeah, we're effectively at our halfway point across from Mexico to Hawaii, our 2,800 mile route that we're taking, where we've dropped south quite a ways to get into better trade wind conditions. And yeah, we're having our Doritos. Yum. Weird. Yum. That's good. Well, things are really cranked up in the last hour or so here. Lots of white caps and some spray into the cockpit. So we've just steered us a little bit further downwind to hopefully get less spray and a little more comfortable of a ride. First kind of time having conditions like this really for 4 days now, 5 days. So looks like we'll have this for something like 24, 36 hours. Good morning on day 12. It was a bit of a ruckus night at times. Pretty big chop, and some waves were almost kind of becoming breakers. They're kind of big white caps, but sometimes sent Sea Dream kind of skittering away. But things have mellowed out just in the first few hours of daylight here. And just a minute ago I heard a bang, and I looked forward and the boom vag broke again. This time it was the little wire bit, so obviously this is a weak point that I should have maybe played closer attention to, but I got some stuff to fix it. Got some old climbing stuff. This is really strong, so I'll be able to just cut it to what I need and just pop it on there, so that'll work for now. So I'll go forward and fix that now.
Good morning. It is about 10 a.m. on our 13th day at sea, and we had a really great sail last night and yesterday. We've already gone over 113 miles, so we're doing really good on our mileage, but the wind has definitely calmed down and the sea state is still kind of sloppy, so we are now getting out a pole for our Genoa, and that's what we're up to right now. So many ropes.
That was challenging getting that whisker pull out in these conditions, but it's immediately rewarding us with another probably a couple of knots and no more flogging Genoa, so happy to have done that, and it's probably going to end up staying out for the rest of the trip. We'll see. Hey, that's nice. We've had very little color in the sky with the sunsets for the most part. We're getting a little bit right now. It's kind of subdued pink. See if it gets a little more bright. It's nice sailing as the evening approaches. It's just been really steady, really sweet.
Steady Eddie.
Been really neat. Like, we're cruising along, we're laying here under the Dodger, and then it doesn't, you don't really feel like you're going 6 knots, but like we're just casually cruising along at like 6 to 6.5 knots pretty regularly. Actually just feeling a little tiny bits of rain showers here. It's kind of a first in a couple days. Hopefully there's no squall coming. Just doing a little late dinner here. Eggs and potatoes, but something kind of neat. Got these avocados on like the 10th of May, and now it's May 27th, I think, and they were nice and hard, and they've lasted so good. We kept them in the cooler, and they're actually still like perfect right now, so really happy to be having avocados like over 1,000 miles from land on either side of us right now. It's pretty special. So, but yeah, cooking with this broad reaching, still pretty exciting. We're looking forward to dead downwind when it should be a little easier, but I kind of wedge myself in here. This galley is nice and small, so it's easy to wedge in, like right here and back here. It's pretty easy. Liveaboard life in the ocean. Pretty nice trade wind sailing. It's been a bit of a mosey day, but the winds are just starting to pick up now, and we'll be watching for any squall development. I don't really expect there to be any, with the Cape values being pretty low today, but there are little puffy ones that are just growing slightly more than they have in the previous days. It's nice to be able to sit in the bow and not worry about getting soaked. We're going pretty much downwind. Morning, day 15, and see that green there? That's avocado, the last of it, believe it or not. A real big surprise that we're eating avocado just a week out from Hawaii, where we'll get more avocado. But it was a bit of a mixed bag of a night. I was like feeling kind of anxious about the possibility of squalls, so I was sort of in a weird headspace, and then it got a bit light wind for a bit, and sails were flapping some. It was all, and then before that it was kind of a little stronger than we wanted, and the waves were pretty big.
Yeah, the motion, I was down in the cabin, and the motion down below was horrendous, and it was really loud down there. Our water tank, one of the baffles in it has come loose, and so it's just like a gong constantly going off. And then the dishes in the galley were like clanking around, and
I fixed those.
Oh, thanks. And yeah, we'd get some like big gusts and then go flying down a wave, and then there'd be a big whack, and it was just not a good night's sleep.
Yeah. But luckily we have all day we can sleep too if we want.
starting to plan our wedding, which is pretty fun to do way out here in the middle of the ocean. We contacted a venue on Gabriela Island yesterday and just been thinking about our guests and what it's going to be like next year. So that's been keeping me feeling optimistic and happy, and yeah, pretty funny though.
Good morning on day 16. We have about 930 miles left to go. It's gonna get us there in a little less than 7 days now. I'm just hiding under the sweet canvas tarp here because there's a little sprinkle coming through. It's been a little showery this morning. The winds were really steady overnight. There were some gusty periods, but we were just bombing along doing this Genoa only situation, and it's worked out really well for us. We're pointing right at Hilo, and I think we might end up leaving it like this for a while because the motion of the boat's pretty good. Maybe it could be better if we were wing on wing, but then we'd have to deal with like finding the right direction and having to jibe and so on. So we might just rock this for a bit. Yeah, still not much to report. No boats, not many birds, just a couple terns that have been flying around. Starting to get to that home stretch period now where we'll be able to start getting really excited about the miles ticking away as they are going really fast now.
We had an interesting thing happen today. This is something we had discussed when getting Starlink, was what happens if it just quits working? And well, it just quit working on us today. So we have InReach. So we were able to tell people, it seems like we're not going to be able to communicate regularly aside from little text messages. So they're not going to be freaking out. And our tracker's still working. So on the predicament.
So people can see we're still chugging along.
Yeah. But I guess that's just one of the risks you run when relying on this kind of fairly new technology when you're out at sea like this. It's the morning of day 17. We're getting our first bit of squally type weather. Nothing serious yet, but might get some good wind coming up here. Getting a little bit more rain than we have. Actually enough to get the boat a bit wet. But it was a pretty good night. Made good speed overnight. Just the partly furled jib and that's all. Just pretty gusty for a while, but we're going basically dead downwind, so it's pretty comfortable. Let's see what this does here. Just hiding in the cabin from this rain. Cat's waking up from a nap.
Nap, like nighttime. Nighttime.
There's our first real rain since like January. And the wind's increased a little bit and changed angles a little bit, but nothing crazy. So yeah, there's our first little squall. Nice gentle one. Alright, we were hoping for a bit of a sunset tonight, but as keeps happening, there's a big bank of clouds, and this one looks a little bit ominous. Maybe some rain, maybe it's a squall. It's not really the right time of day for a squall, but we'll see what happens up ahead here. It might just be dark clouds. They're more late night than morning.
There was a lot more sunshine today. So
yeah. It's pretty nice. We'll see what happens.
The night passed without any more squalls finding us. After 18 days of non-stop sailing, we had settled into life defined by constant movement and familiar sounds. The creak of the bulkheads, the rush of water along the hull. With less than a week to go before our expected landfall in Hilo, anticipation was building, but we worked hard to stay grounded in the present, one watch at a time.
Day 18. I'm still laying down. and still roly-poly. But we have 5 days left, and that feels really nice. So, yeah, just keep doing it.
After some slow stuff this morning, we kind of just were like, yeah, should we put the main up? And we were like, maybe. And too tired and lazy right now. The wind has kicked up quite nicely, so I'm glad we waited out because we were definitely cruising along at a good pace now with probably about 18 knots of wind behind us and some gusts.
Trevor noticed a little bit ago that our whisker pole was collapsing, and it's a new pole to us. We got it for $100. It was pretty inexpensive. So we brought it in, tried to extend it again, reset the sails, and then the same thing happened, just collapsed again. So we're like, oh great, well let's just use our old pole that we also got for I think free. It's definitely a little bit smaller in diameter, but we just got it out, we're eating lunch, and now it looks like this.
Too small for a boat.
So that's not what you want it to look like. So it looks like we're gonna go without a whisker pole now.
This one's a bit more of a squall. The wind's really picked up quite a lot, so I just roll the Genoa and bearing off. But as this passes,
We've been in regular communication with several boats well ahead of us, all of whom had reported days of squally weather earlier in their crossings. After 18 days with hardly a squall to speak of, we knew how lucky we'd been. These small storm cells weren't packing much of a punch, more a nuisance than a danger, but they kept us on our toes, forcing frequent sail changes and course adjustments. In their own way, they made the days slip by faster than those earlier stretches, when the boat all but sailed itself, and there was little to do but watch the miles slowly tick away.
it's about 8:30 or so Hawaii time, and a squall just came through, and it was kind of gradually building. I didn't do anything about it. All we had was the full jib up, and then whoop, bam, there was probably like a 35 knot gust with full jib up, and it was just like, oh damn, okay, time to get some jib in. And so of course when you're just reefing the jib with no mainsail to blanket it with, it's pretty hectic. And then I turned the boat into the wind some, and that caused us to smash into a pretty big wave and got me totally soaked. And then once I reefed the jib, it was fine. And naturally, the one big gust was the worst of it. And now it's come right down. There's just a little rain shower now. But probably should put more sail out, but I don't really want to. Yeah, anyways, it was exciting. Certainly missing the days without squalls. These things are pests, just kind of constantly lurking around and changing the wind and making the seas bumpy, and raining on us occasionally as well. Looks like it's about to reach the boat any second now. Just real short-lived downpours, and then there's often like a little lull right behind them, and this one's lasting a little longer. I think we're kind of like riding with it, like staying inside this squall.
tired, really tired.
We have wing on wing working quite nicely, but then there's a little squall cell just to our starboard that warped the wind quite a bit, so all of a sudden we find ourselves galloping like as if we were beam reaching along the swell. Looks like we'll be heading in our correct direction again shortly, which is directly to Hilo. It's great. The wing on wing's been working really nicely for us so far.
Yeah, we've been having a good day. It's been more of an active day than many others. We woke up this morning and it was a little bit slower out, and so we decided to switch around the sails a couple of times. The wind direction has changed here and there just a little bit, so watching our track has been pretty funny. It looks like we climbed up a hill and then got back on track at the latitude that we want to be at. Definitely feels like the end of the trip now. We're getting really excited. It's really only 2 full days, 4th and the 5th, and then we'll be in Hilo on the 6th. So all of a sudden it's like, oh, we're almost there. This is great. Trevor, do you have anything to say?
Not much, just taking care of some stuff. Here's the remnants of that whisker pole. Perfectly good aluminum, so I'll just cut off that jagged bit and stow it away. And that's about all I got. Just doing deck checks. Everything looks pretty good. What a beautiful sight. The little storm cells that we're sort of starting to develop are dissipating, and they're all in front of us, which means they are probably going away from us. And behind us, it's pretty darn clear looking. Looking forward to, I think, what's going to be a rain-free, at least first half of the night, hopefully longer. And the moon's staying up longer, so we get to be able to see storm cells a lot easier in that case. So we're just having a nice time out in the bridge deck as usual, listening to podcasts, listening to some CBC podcasts, a little Canadian Broadcasting Corporation for y'all. And yeah, it's a nice night out here. I'm getting pretty excited that we're just 2 daytimes and 2 night times left until we're anchoring up in Hilo. Yeah. Oh, one of our most critical things for offshore has been this canvas tarp. It's so good. We use it all the time for different things, but we put it over top of our blankets here on the bridge deck and just get to cuddle up, and not, even if it's raining a bit, we just keep laying here, and sometimes I make a little tent over myself. And I basically have spent 98% of the time laying right here. I sleep up here because it's more comfortable for me. I find the sideways motion rocking in the regular bunks to be really difficult to sleep with, but the rocking back and forth this way is a lot easier for me. So this has basically been my seat bunk. I'm gonna have to learn how to sleep down below on the way to Alaska though, because it's gonna get probably a bit cold and rainy to be sleeping up here all the time. Good morning, day 21. After a really nice 24 hours with no rain or anything, no squalls. We're getting some kind of squally weather. It's not squalls per se, but rain cells, and it's messing with the wind right now on us. But we had an overall pretty nice night. There's a few times where the wind got a bit light and the main was backing on itself, but most of the time the hydrovan did a great job, wing on wing, heading right for Hilo. There's the rain. Hopefully there'll be some wind right behind this. But I took it upon myself to just take a shower while this rain came through. It's actually pretty warm out right now.
Filming me?
Well, that was a pretty good series of puffs. Probably getting into the low 30s on a few of them. And it looks like we have more behind us coming. But little gaps in between when it's all sloshy after the big winds. Luckily there's still some wind, so we're still sailing, but I think it's gonna be a long day. Got Gotta work for Hilo here. That dark over there. Alright, next little squall here. This time we rolled in the Genoa, or the remnants of it, just to be on the safer side.
I think it's become very clear today that I'm here for moral support and not necessarily the sailing.
That's not true. She's helping with reefing and taking watches and all kinds of good stuff.
It's kind of true. All right, we are entering into squall number 5, I think. Looks like we're probably gonna miss the rain on this one, but definitely has a pretty dark line coming up behind us, which is a little intimidating.
Just a big wind veer, 20 degrees or something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. This is the first rain shower convective cell that's lasted more than about 2 minutes. Usually the rain only lasts for just a moment and then it's gone, but this has been about probably over 10 minutes now. So it's going to carry on for a little longer. And hopefully it's going to be all blue sky behind us, because I'm getting kind of tired of this.
The previous day proved to be one of the most difficult of the entire passage. Unsettled weather lingered through the night and into the following morning before finally moving on. We later learned that it was part of a large cold front pushing down from the north, stirring up squally conditions across the Hawaiian Islands and the surrounding open ocean. Even so, we were glowing with the knowledge that only one more night at sea lay ahead. What we were on the verge of completing was still hard to fathom. Just the two of us, having crossed 3,000 miles of the open Pacific using nothing but the wind.
Good morning on day 22, June 5th. We are still out on the big blue ocean, but we're only 150 some odd miles from Hilo. Feeling pretty excited about that. Last night was really good. The wind stayed really steady and we were bombing along at just under 6 knots for our average right now for the 24 hours. And just with the Genoa, which is really stress-free and easy. As it stands, we should be arriving into Hilo sometime around 11 or 12 tomorrow in the morning and noon. So feeling very, very grateful for that, and that we've had a relatively fast crossing. It's going to come in just under 23 days. Anything to add, Kat?
Yeah, I feel grateful that we've done this, that we have good wind right now, and that we're almost there. Yeah.
A storm thousands of miles to the north, near our home waters, was sending long, powerful seas our way. As we made our final approach to Hilo, 10 to 15 foot swell broke beneath us, keeping things interesting right to the end. Out there, the ocean made the planet feel deeply interconnected, weather-born far beyond the horizon, shaping our final miles. We were grateful the winds remained steady, carrying us forward and pushing us ever closer to a shoreline that would soon, at last, come into view.
It is the morning of day 23. We are 40 miles out from Hilo. We still can't see the big island. We're noticing this little rip that we found on the Genoa is getting a bit bigger, so we were going to do something about it. Maybe not super advisable. We're gonna try and douse the sail while going downwind in this really floppy light wind stuff, and then just slap the sail tape up on and get it back up. So let's give it a try. Okay, lower Genoa.
we were bound to have one mosey day on the trip, and it happens to be the last day of the trip. We've been cruising along at like 3 knots most of the day, 3.5. And it's been steady, been going in the right direction. The swell is kind of annoying because the sails are flapping, but we are making slow progress towards Hilo. It would be nice to get in earlier than later, but I don't know. We haven't used the engine yet, so we'll try and stick with that. We'll see how long our patience lasts. But yeah, 26 miles left to go. But we can see land. We have cell phone reception now, so we're catching up with people, letting them know how we're doing. And not really much to report. We're just really excited to anchor and sleep. That's my big thing. It'll be nice to go to land, but I don't really care about that right now. I just care about being still on the boat and sleeping tonight.
To our great relief, the good steady trade wind breezes that had carried us 3,000 miles returned after their little morning rest. Finally, with about 30 miles left to go, we were able to yell, "Land ho!" as a faint view of the Big Island shore became visible at the bottom of the clouds towering almost 14,000 feet above Mauna Kea. Land never looked so good.
We are 5 miles from the breakwater, from sweet calm water. The wind's dying on us, so we're gonna motor this last little bit. The Pacific Ocean's been pretty generous with wind, but it's petering at the moment. So let's turn on the engine for the first time in 3,000 miles.
Super sweet footage. Green means go.
We're just tidying up a bit, getting the V-berth sleepable again, and Kat's making a frittata, using the last of our veggies and fresh stuff. And then we'll clear with customs tomorrow morning via the Roam app. Feels great to be anchored. The boat's just barely moving. We're feeling this sort of like sea legs still that are like, where like the motion of the boat's so minor, but it feels like kind of like whoa, whoa. But you feeling that too, Kat? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think we're signing out for the night, and we'll do a debrief in the morning, but yeah, feels great to be here. Good morning from Hilo. We are up and at 'em. Woke up kind of early, like 6 o'clock. I thought maybe we'd sleep longer, but I guess we're just energized, and working on clearing customs right now on the CBP Roam, the Customs Border Protection Roam app. So it's just processing right now, and then we're going to put the dinghy together and go to shore. We're really excited for that. Both still feel kind of wobbly, yeah, but had a really good rest. It was really nice. Rain last night.
It's so nice to be here. I feel like I just woke up from like a gnarly 3-week sickness almost. That's not true. I don't feel like that. But I feel so good. And I'm so excited to go to land. It's so green here too, because we came in at dark. This is one of my favorite things, to arrive somewhere in the dark and then wake up to a brand new day and be like, wow! And it's so green, and the air smells really like floral, and the wind's coming off the land right now, so the smell is really intense. We just had our first wonderful cup of coffee, and we also heard that since it's Saturday, there's a really great farmer's market, so everything is wonderful. There's nothing wrong in the world, in my book right now.
This is much trickier to do than on the shore or a nice flat dock, but we're almost there. Okay, we got the dinghy in the water and the engine on it, just getting the gas tank, and just want to show the viewers out there some crazy thing that happened while we were offshore. It must have gone through some sort of bloom of creatures. There's gooseneck barnacles on the aft part of the boat, and then there's these little anemones or something. I've never seen anything like this, and they're way above waterline because we would have been heeled over for that first while. Let's check them out.
Whoa.
Wild.
It's crazy.
So as you can see, they're way above waterline and a little bit below waterline, but mostly just above the waterline where there's no paint. I think they're going to crisp up pretty quick here now that we're not heeled, but we'll definitely have to scrape those little dudes off. And yeah, at the stern there's little gooseneck barnacles. They might all be gooseneck barnacles. Yeah, I think they're all goosenecks. Some of them just haven't got their shells yet. I'm betting that other offshore sailors have experienced things like this, but that's interesting. Only took about 10 pulls. Pretty good.
Oh my gosh, we're just about to land and it's so green. All right, we just secured our dinghy to land for the first time and about to take our first steps onto solid ground.
Feels like land.
Yeah, but how do you feel?
Oh, I feel good. Yeah, this is great. It's so warm and sunny out, and yeah. Throw?
No, whoa, I feel a little weird.
A little funny?
Whoa.
Ah.
Grass is easy. It's been a long time.
Happy girl.
I don't know why I'm crying. This is so awesome. And so, just like that, 22 days later, we were in Hawaii. Along the way, we experienced immense joy, some serious challenging moments, a few broken things, and countless unforgettable experiences that can only exist out in the open ocean. It was a truly life-changing adventure, one we're still processing now, 8 months later, as we sit here editing the video of this crossing. Dropping the anchor and finally stepping ashore was one of the most incredible moments of our lives. Any despair that had crept in during those long, relentless days crossing the Pacific quickly faded as we reacquainted ourselves with solid ground. The colors, the smells, the warmth of the land, everything felt impossibly vivid as we wandered the shoreline parks of Hilo. We were overflowing with excitement and joy, hardly able to believe what we had just accomplished. Neither of us had ever crossed an ocean before, but together we made it happen without any major breakages or serious drama. So with that, we'll sign off on this long episode. In the next one, we explore around Hilo before setting sail through the Hawaiian Islands towards Honolulu, where we'll begin preparing Sea Dream of Clyde for our next big adventure, the crossing to Alaska. Thanks so much for watching, and bye for now!
You got fallen on